Well. Welcome back to the Krown Crypto channel. Wishing you a happy early start to Slice Trap Tuesday. It's a Trapola Tuesday, and are we actually witnessing a trap? That's the topic of today. Obviously, as we get into it for good old Taco Tuesday. But on this case, it's traps. Not like the ones that you're typically used to, but like the ones that come from Thailand. Anyways, before we get into it, I do want to let you know that we still have a sale going on until Monday of next week. 20% off of all the programs and products. As always, do not rush into anything. What I would strongly encourage you to do if you're interested in any one of the programs or products is to, if I can go over here, is to go into the Krown Trading Application Store and watch the promotional videos that explain who they're for, who they're not for, so that you can make an educated decision for yourself. Also, I should let you know that all of the indicators, not all of the indicators, but the three indicators that we have on the store are going to be going to a a monthly service-based format, which is obviously different than what we have right now, which is where you pay once and then you own it for life. But it'll obviously be a lower cost once we switch it over, but it'll be on a monthly basis, of course. Anyways, yes, so now that we've gotten all the shilling out of the way, let's just jump right into it, addressing the question of, is Bitcoin witnessing a trap right now, as Bitcoin does come about $1,000 off of yesterday's highs. So let's just go right into the charts, starting off with the daily, and you can see a nice rejection right at the mean band for the Gaussian channel. The Gaussian channel's even turned red over here on the daily as well, which is a little bit concerning. But ultimately, a rejection right at the mean band means one of two things. It either means, well, one, that is where you kind of would expect a trap, and then two, if Bitcoin can just close back above it, that being about 28,100. Let me see the exact number: 28,076 and 72 cents, if you want to be super exact. At that point, Bitcoin very likely to put in an extended rally. Probably closer to $30,000, somewhere between $29,500 to $30,000 or so. Until then, though, this is a bit of a consideration right here. So I want to be looking at the other tools to kind of decipher, okay, is this likely to be a trap? So what I'll first look at is daily RSI and just see, do we have potential hidden bearish divergence in play right here? Because you would expect hidden bearish divergence if it is going to be a trap, because your hidden bearish divergence lets you know it's just another lower high and likely to come back down. And in this case, we actually don't have hidden bearish divergence, because the RSI on these highs that we saw from the 5th of May, which was back on over here, were actually a little bit higher than what we did see on this particular one right here. It's by a ball sack here, to be fair, but it is it is definitely higher. If we go over to CME, it becomes incredibly clear, however, that yes, those highs from the 5th of May significantly higher on the daily RSI. So no, there is not hidden bearish divergence there, which is again one of the major things that I would expect if this one was going to be a major trap. But when we go back and reference it on CME, we do notice that there is a gap. There's a gap actually right around the daily mean band for the Gaussian channel here, and that is going to be about 27,250 or so. So that'd also be another great area to be aware of, meaning that if Bitcoin does start to close back down below there, that would be a failure. That would certainly be trap confirmed. And at that point, probably retesting the lows of last week. But until then, I actually do see things that suggest that no, this is probably not a trap, although things could come back down and fill around that gap. That, I suppose that would be theoretically fine. But we do see that the daily jewel on CME is actually not just getting positive curvature right here, but is turning light blue and is supported by DMI, which can all be confirmed as soon as tonight's closure on the daily. And if it closes basically anywhere here or higher, yes, that will indeed be confirmed. Of course, this is in lieu or in addition to what we did see on spot price action right over here with the daily jewel, which should get a pretty nice signal coming off of like 24th, 25th, 26th of May. So in this case, we do kind of expect this one to follow through, but of course, CME will be more powerful, or theoretically more powerful. Anyways, now that we've gotten through that, and again, it is going to be supported by DMI, which is also quite big, and we do see that daily volatility on the HPDO V2. We got to call this something else, caretaker. I'm sorry, man. It's going to get so fucking confusing. It should be called HPDRV. It should be called HPDRP, actually, probably the herpaderper, because it's percentile indicator right here, or just HVP. No, but that's HVP. HPVP. Oh, man. You know what? Look, if you have a better name for this shit, please let us know in the comment section. I shouldn't call it shit. It's actually an incredibly powerful tool. It's in fact one of my more favorite tools right now. But, just using a colloquial term right there of endearment. Anyways, yeah, so we've gone through that. Let's now go through the hourly HPDO ranges. or sorry, should we go through the hourly or the 4 hour? The 4 hour is going to align a little bit better with CME in this case, showing the bottom side of our current range at 27,250, meaning that if Bitcoin does have to come back down there, or especially close below there, even on a 4 hour time frame, even on an hourly time frame, I'd say that would be a damn good indication this is a major trapola, and get ready for low 26s yet again, maybe even lower than that, as it would have a legitimate chance to officially break. But for right now, we can see that the top side, or I shouldn't say the top side, but the average of the current range is coming in exactly bad word to be using in this space, but it is coming at precisely the same price that we did see on the Gaussian channel for the mean band, which is about $28,050 right there, meaning that yes, if we even see a 4 hour time frame close back above that region, I'd very likely be looking for the daily to follow through, and very likely we're looking at next move back up somewhere around somewhere just below $29,000, and then probably the daily takes over after that. So again, I am still seeing more things that suggest that no, this is not a trap. This is a bit of a pullback after a pretty nice move to the upside. But so far, I don't really see anything that's like super concerning here just yet. So I do just want to put some of the fears into perspective, at least from the tools that I'm looking at as of right now. Of course, can always be wrong, but in this case, I don't see it just yet. Anyways, moving on to the next thing, I did want to reference the stochastic momentum. Starting off here with the daily on CME, and as you can see, it is actually going to be vertical, even after having a little bit of bullish divergence come off of that last low. I believe we spoke about that last week, and again on extremely low volatility reads, and this is going to be remaining with upside posture as long as Bitcoin's closing above 26,550. Again, that number would actually be quite easily in grasp if Bitcoin lets go of that 27,250-ish region. But for right now, that's, typically when you see something like this, I'd probably be, favoring the upside. 12-hour time frame also going to be showing upside as long as Bitcoin's above 26,820. 6-hour time frame also going to be showing upside as long as Bitcoin's above 28,000, which is actually not right now. So that would be a bit of a competing factor here. 4-hour time frame is also going to be showing downside below 28,200. So lower term time frames, or medium and lower term time frames, I should say, are more or less on the corrective side. So we do expect a bit more sideways here, I suppose. And then the hourly is going to be flippy floppy, pretty much at current price, 27,895. Current trading price for CME is 27,890. So not getting too much from that. So the higher term timeframes, again, a little bit more positioned towards the upside. The lower term timeframes and the medium term timeframes, more or less sideways, corrective. And the real question is, does Bitcoin pull back enough here to turn this correction into a reversal? I think I've kind of made my thoughts on that known. Although I shouldn't be putting like my particular thoughts on this too much. It should just kind of be presented the data as it is. Of course, though, some of the other things that do make me just a little more biased towards an upside resolution here, instead of breaking back down below 27,250, would again be the daily setup over here that we went over yesterday with the daily jewel. Again, getting below this 38 read right here, alongside PMARP being below 35. This particular setup for the full history of Bitcoin back tested has produced about a just over 67% strike rate. So pretty damn good, better than a coin flip, I suppose, and has produced an average return of, on the winning side, I should say, of about 22.5% over the course of about 33 days on the winning trades from that particular setup given. And in this case, that particular setup started in 15th of May, so that would be taking us into kind of like the, about mid-June. Mid-June. So ultimately, this one still probably takes some time, which, someone actually pointed out in the comments yesterday. It's like, hey, if it takes that long, then Bitcoin certainly has enough time here to, pull back a little bit. It's like, yeah, of course it does. 33 days, and we're already we're maybe like halfway through that. Yeah, I 100% agree. I have to put time into perspective here, obviously, which is why those statistics are rather powerful. Gives you an insight as to kind of what to expect. But here's the thing. If you don't see Bitcoin really, take legs up, I would even say past $29,000, by that time, like mid-June, very likely we're going to see the next 20% move to the downside, which is all the way down around like 21 to 22,000 bucks as of right now. All right, sweet. So we spoke about that. I guess we have a little bit more time here, as I do want to make these videos a little bit more on the digestible side. But another thing that does make me a little bit more biased towards the upside would be the 2-day setup, which is still kind of looming. You know, this one's been probably the most frustrating one that I've seen since we really started watching these rather intently on this channel, which was about a year and a half ago now. And this one's got to be like the most annoying one, honestly. It looks like it's going to come back down for the full-on rebasement for the volatility here, of which you can already see it's basically, it's almost exactly at 10 percentile yet again. So I do look at that as a bit of a reset. And as of right now, the 2-day time frame stochastic oscillator is going to be pointed to the upside, closing tonight, by the way, but we'll be remaining with upside posture as long as Bitcoin's closing above basically 27,000 bucks. So with that in mind, you know, it's a long, obviously it's a long day left, and crazier things than like a $700 dump-ola have happened throughout that time. But basically, if you start, if Bitcoin maintains above, especially 27,250, that's going to remain pivoted to the upside. We get to play the waiting game yet again, because this one's obviously not going into expansion just yet. But at some point, this one will be, relevant. I think that this one now has a little bit longer to go, as it probably rebases here. And at that point, we will revisit those statistics. I don't think that's, really super relevant for today's video, just because, well, not really anything new there. But again, major areas to be aware of: 27,250 to the downside versus about 28,000 bucks to the upside. Like I said, I don't see any sort of hidden bearish divergences just yet. I do see it on the 12-hour right here. So if I did want to make a bit of a bearish narrative, that's what it'd be based off of. But I would say that that's not fully confirmed until we're really trading back down, at least on this particular time frame, below like 27,500. So I do look at that as a bit of a base. And even on this one, the 12-hour jewel is still lifting off, supported by DMI. So I think we might have already seen that move, basically. Would have been very difficult to trade anyways. All right, sweet. That's a good place for me to be leaving off. As always, want to be wishing you the best. Yeah, take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.